On the night before the first warm sun of the year, a squall tore across the town as though angry that winter was over, or in preparation for milder days. For an instant, when I heard the laughter, the rhythm of their bed, I thought she was back, that winter had been a hoax played by my mind. The tree was a glossy piece of tar teased into a shock of lines. Its branches whipped and struggled with the wind as if it were a tangible stuff. Slates lifted from roofs and smashed silently on the ground. In the uppermost reaches of the tree, level with my window, I saw Mum's face. I thought it was a reflection in the glass, but when I turned around, only the tussle between light and shadow on the wall greeted me. "You'll come visit me soon, love." "Yes, Mum," I said, natural as you like, looking back into the black core of the tree where darkness nested. Gradually the storm passed on, unlike my fear, which thickened as I brooded upon what I'd heard. In the morning, leaves peeped from the swollen joints of the tree, and the memory of Mum's voice was more a comfort than cause for panic. Coming back from the allotments one afternoon that week, the weather brightening every day, at one point I was able to dispense with my sweater as I travelled a shallow trench. I felt a compulsion to alter my route. By the time I reached the cemetery, that need had dissolved into a warm band of rightness, of expediency. Rather than feeling honour bound to be near her, a gentler, more natural yearning had taken me, for which I was glad. Immaculate as it was, I fussed her grave, briefly disturbed when I imagined that raised mound as a thick blanket stifling her. Of course I was tense for her voice, which didn't come, and I don't know whether I was grateful or disappointed. Maybe Dad noticed how subdued I'd become that evening, because he slapped a little aftershave on my furrowing cheeks and took me down to the pub with him. It was a still night. The houses seemed coiled in expectation of some kind of event. Though the calm was a pleasant change, it only made my nervousness more noticeable. I was grateful Dad didn't chide me about it. The pub was a mass of yellowed windows. My shadow cowered as Dad pushed open the door and people roared his name. We entered a fog of smoke and sweat. Women I didn't know ruffled my hair and winked at Dad while he bought drinks. Anonymous hands patted my backside. When Dad returned, pushing a big glass of foam into my chest, his forehead bore a brown lipstick smear. In the second before recognising it as such, I looked like it had opened a third eye. I wondered what my dad's true constitution was like. It seemed as though I'd only ever seen him as this fleeting harlequin figure in guises of drunkenness and deceit. Beneath the cologne and bravado, he was as much a stranger to me as the other faces in this bar. In that clenched knot of people, I felt a moment of abject panic. The one genuine person I knew was gone, and I couldn't associate my own identity with anything more solid than the tree outside my window. In a slow, swooping vision, I saw myself 10 years on, resigned to the crude safety of parochial life and playing a rake's role within the beery cocoon of this pub. Predictably, my pessimism faded as the bitter took hold and I was swept into the bawdy camaraderie of it all. Comments that I was the spit of my dad made me feel proud, not threatened. A haze fell when everybody's faces melted into gently shaded rumours and I couldn't distinguish between one person and another. I slurred my goodnights and barged my way outside, vaguely registering a volley of protests at my departure. The soapy air dilated the disharmony in my head so that the lights became great glassy shards I couldn't see beyond. "It's this way, lover," came the voice at my ear, and what I'd assumed to be the bloated sensation in my guts proved to be the arms of a girl encircling me from behind. She frog-marched me home. I could just make out the tree, jarred with each footstep into a dim beast, arms outstretched to greet me, its many faces lost in the blaze of orange flame. I began to flay my arms when she manoeuvred me into its shadow, as though I was a sacrifice, but she spun me around just as I saw its brackish maw become discernible in the pattern of bark. Pressed up against me, her mouth trying to draw some kind of orderly movement from my own. I felt the runnels at my back squirm as though, like some slowly feeding thing, it was trying to subsume me. Trapped, I rolled my eyes in desperation, struggling to voice my distress, and, seeing my vacant window, understanding what I was becoming, struck out against the girl who was working her leg between mine. Off balance, she fell on her backside. I couldn't decode the babble of filth she spat at me. My mind wasn't working that quickly. As she hobbled away, I let myself into the house, imagining the tree straining against its concrete base to recapture my warmth, to suck me into itself. I slept shallowly, dreaming of the seas. I imagined pink, smiling faces collapsing from corruption, eating people inside out. When I woke up, my head thudding, I was afraid to move lest parts of me caved in. I lay still for hours that day, smelling the grimy sky drift through our house, listening to the hushing outside. These things I remember well. And here I stand again, on the street I finally managed to escape so long ago. The pub's still standing, though it doesn't look as busy as it once was. All the houses are new. Our terrace must have been knocked down shortly after I left. Dad's well, and still living in the area. I'll visit him in a while. The tree. I can see the tree. I'm brave enough to touch it. Momentarily it feels as spongy as skin, but that's just moss on bark. Hug a tree, my old English teacher used to say. They're extraordinary things, beautiful things. Show you appreciate them. It's with some surprise that I realise I never climbed the tree or tied a rope to its branches and swung like a monkey. Why was that? I'm asking, though I know full well. With my penknife, I carved the first letter of Mum's name, but it's too much like cutting myself. I have to turn away to go now before I see the sack. I'm not sure it will be the colour I expect. God, the way you whisper to me as I hurry down the street. And were I to take one last look back at the faces shifting in your branches, might I see my own somewhere? Thank you very much.